This is A Morning.
And right then after that, we'll be talking to the author, Tom Watson. He's got this book. It's been sitting on Kurt's desk. It's called Man Shoes, How to Become a Better Man. All those details are coming your way in the next hour. Plus, of course, we'll have plenty to talk about, as well as head up with CFRA.
All right, 6:53. I want to welcome Tom Watson to the program. Here's his book, Man Shoes. The Journey to Becoming a Better Man, Husband, and Father. This is a really cool book, Tom. Thanks for coming to join us today.
Well, thanks for having me.
This is, listen, your story is you're not alone in a story like this, but you're a young man who went through a series of foster homes as a child, right up until what, the age of 5?
5 years old, yeah.
You were bounced around. You were one of those kids.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things where, you know, unfortunately, there's 17,000 of those kids every year in Canada.
Yeah.
And so it's a difficult start to a life, and I was very fortunate to end up with the Watsons, who were an older couple who took me in.
And they were on a farm, and
they were on a farm
in Grand Prairie, Alberta.
Yeah, they mentored me. They raised me up. Why they took me in at 60? You know, they could have been my grandparents,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So
they decided to take you in, and that turned out to be the biggest blessing of all.
That's what I believe saved me.
I think this is why you wrote the book. I think it enabled you to write the book.
Yeah.
They're giving to you of a great home.
Well, the giving of a great home, and then the mentorship that Mr. Watson, and because I spent a lot of time working alongside this elderly, wise old man, gave to me. And why I wrote the book, actually, to be honest, in the beginning, it was just a journal for my sons, because I had a stroke 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was worried that they wouldn't know where I came from, who I was. I thought they're going to remember this old fart, grumpy old guy, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell my sons my journey, because if I'm not there to say, look, guys, at 18, you think you know everything, and life is going to throw things at you, then I need to write a book or a journal. So I wrote a journal, which has eventually morphed into this book.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of how the book really came to be, but it's a lot about the Watsons.
Exactly, and the impact that they had on you, and how important that is. And it's funny, no matter what your background is, at some point in your life you realize that your parents were right.
Yeah.
The people who brought you up were right.
Isn't that scary?
It is. And it makes you laugh at times, because you always hear that and you go, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Tell me about Your Better Life. This is something else that you've been working on.
Yes, Your Better Life is going to launch this fall. And it's really a business, an online business, social business, where people can join a community. And we have 7 different life zones that are going to be on the site. We're going to have experts in each life zone. So finances, we'll have financial experts. Faith, we'll have faith experts. Fitness and wellness, we'll have, so we'll have experts in each area. I'm really like you. I'm kind of the host of the show.
Right.
And people are going to be able to talk, because in the book I talk about this idea of men not really wanting to talk. It's not just a men's site, but it's this communication site where we can ask the question, so what did you do about giving your kids allowance? You know, how did you handle that?
Right.
And people from all around the world can come in and just talk about that.
Yeah.
And you can go away. I'm not going to say, well, this is exactly what you should do. You can go away and say, for our family, this is what would work for us.
Yep.
And so it's going to be really neat.
It's an exchange of ideas.
It's an idea exchange in all of these different life zones. Because life, as I talk about in the book, Man Shoes, life is very complicated. As men and women, we have a lot of complication in our lives.
Yeah.
And Man Shoes is part of that in just some of the tools. You know, one of the big tools in there is my choice plus my actions equals my life.
Yeah.
Or the idea for men that, Mr. Watson said to me, Tom, there's a lot of good guys, but there's not a lot of great men.
No.
And so different tools that lead you from a good guy to a great man.
Listen, I could talk to you all day, and I know there are other guys here who totally identify with the things you've gone through, and in the end, we're just guys, and we're just trying to make it through.
Trying to make it through.
if you're looking for something for your dad, your husband, your brother, whatever, for Father's Day, may I recommend Man Shoes, because it's incredible, and it'll really just open your eyes a little bit, and that's all you need sometimes.
Yeah.
Listen, so great to meet you. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me on, you
Tom
guys.
Watson, and look for in the fall Your Better Life. You want to get in on that as well.